I want to talk to you about some ways to winterize and weatherproof your hair for this cold holiday season. The hair, just like your skin, just like you have to winterize your home, you have to start. I know when the weather is changing, you begin to check your windows to make sure there's no draft coming in. You do all of these different things to winterize the house to prevent air from coming in and making it cold and wasting, the heat that's coming into your home. You do it with your skin. You put certain moisturizers, and we do it all over. We do it with our cars. You winterize it. You have to get them prepared. Winterizing and just preparing it for that season. Hey. Welcome to another video. Welcome to the Baggio channel. This is the home of self-care, beauty, wellness, and any and everything that'll help you to become the most empowered version of you. Thank you for joining us today. I want to talk. I'm going to dive right in. This is our winter holidays, and it's cold. I don't know where you live or what part of the world you live in, but if you're in any part of the world that is cold, you're gonna understand what I'm saying. It's freezing. We used to call it back home, it's brick outside. Like, my goodness, like the wind is gonna eat your face off. But I wanna talk today about your hair. What happens to your hair during these very cold and bitter cold seasons? I want to give you 4 ways, and I'm going to do a 2-part series again on this video because sometimes I have more to say and one video just don't cut it. So I'm learning to take my time and break it up into sections. But you do all of these different things to winterize the house to prevent air from coming in and making it cold and wasting, the heat that's coming into your home. You do it with your skin. You put certain moisturizers, and we do it all over. We do it with our cars. You winterize it. You have to get them prepared. Winterizing and just preparing it for that season. And so for the holiday seasons, when it's cold and our hair is doing what it does, I want to give you some ways that you can kind of winterize your hair and protect it, because your hair is affected also by the dry and bitter cold weather. So I'm going to give you a few things in this video, and then I'm going to have a second video, and I'm going to continue. So one of the first things I want you to understand that's so important, and we talk about this all the time, is that when you moisturizing your hair, we moisturize our hair all the time because our hair needs moisture, especially our 4C babies and those thick and coily hair. But even when your hair is not 4C, you still need to have certain level of moisture balance. But I want to give you a trick. And a lot of people don't really get this, but this is the trick. You listening? Come in close. One of the easiest ways to moisturize your hair, especially for the winter and winterize it, directly after the shampoo and the conditioner, when you rinse the hair out and the hair is still wet, you add your moisture to your hair while it's wet. You start with the ends, and the reason you start with the ends is because the ends is the oldest part of the hair. It's the oldest part, and it can sometimes be the weaker part because it's further away from the root. Root is usually the strongest part of the hair. But you add your moisture, your cream moisture, to your hair while it's wet, right? When that hair is wet, you take it from the end to the root, and you go section by section, and you combing it through, your moisture through it. And then once your hair dries, whether you're letting it air dry or whether you blow dry it, whatever you choose to do, take a light oil and seal it. So it's like a lock and seal. You add in the moisture, but then you got to come in again and then seal it. So once it's wet, because when it's wet, your cuticle is wide open to receive all of the moisture. And sometimes a lot of people, they make mistakes, and you are moisturizing your hair when your hair is dry. And so a lot of times it sits on the hair and it's dry and it's not being absorbed into the scalp. So that's one of the main things. So yeah, you do a lock and seal process. After your hair is shampooed and conditioned and it's wet, you add your moisture. Once it dries, then you come in with your light oil, like a light oil, very light oil, like botana oil, or maybe like a light oil sheen to lock in that moisture. So that's one. Another thing to protect your hair in the cold season is cover it. Wear soft fabrics, or if you're wearing your wool hat for the winter, make sure it's lined with like a satin or like a soft cotton, because sometimes when you're wearing these hats and you're covering it, and that's the point, cover it from the harsh elements that can really make your hair extremely dry. It can make your hair so dry, drier than it really has to be. So I know a lot of times we don't want to cover our hair because we're cute and we don't do hats. But hats is just not for your head to be warm, but to protect your hair from the harsh and brittle and bitter elements of, the weather. So that's 2. Number 3, make sure, especially during the winter seasons and the holiday seasons, make sure that you are covering your hair. Cover your hair at night. When you sleep, that breaks down the moisture so much, because it'll be tossing and be turning. Our head is literally like rubbing. Literally, our head is down. So make sure you're covering your hair every single night, especially during the winter seasons. Especially. It seems like it's not a lot, but if you really realize how much your hair is rubbing on your pillow or your bed, and it's like just being extracted of its oils and extracted of so many different elements that help that hair to maintain its balance. And last but not least, during the winter seasons, the holiday seasons, make sure you are conditioning your hair more. You're doing your hair masks at home. And you make sure when you do go and get your professional treatments, you're asking for the steam, the hydration. You're asking for the amino acids. You're asking for those professional strength levels of protein and moisture that your hair need, and that a lot of times is not sold in a regular store. Do it a little bit more in the winter because of these conditions. Extreme times call for extreme measures. And when it comes to your hair, I want you to think about your hair just like you think about everything else. You winterize your home, you winterize your car, you winterize everything get winterized, because it has to be subject to harsh elements, and so does your hair. You winterize your skin, every single thing. We change up our clothing, we winterize our bodies. You start dressing in layers because you can't go outside with just a clothes and a regular coat. Sometimes you need a layer. That's how cold it is. But your hair takes a beating when it's not properly winterized. So yeah, take these tips and just go and run with it. And if you know any other winterization tips for your hair, throw it down in the comments. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. So yeah, just take these different tips and just make sure you are winterizing your hair, so that when the springtime do come, your hair is not so broken down and brittle and shallow, because it's basically taking a beating. So I'm just going to recap it really, really fast. So 1, you can do the moisture lock. When you moisturize your hair after it's wet, and then once it's dry, you seal it with a very light oil. 2, you protect your hair with hats, and making sure those hats have fabrics that are not rubbing your hair out. You don't want to have a straight wool hat on your head, because sometimes that wool can break the hair down as well. So make sure you have like lined winter hats. And even be careful of your scarves, because even those scarves that's on your neckline, you'll see that the hair at the bottom of your neck is much shorter and it's drier and it breaks because those scarves and that material is rubbing too hard. But still cover your head, cover your neck, but choose the materials that's going to support the moisture balance in your hair. 3, cover your hair every night. Cover your hair every night. Sleeping, you're rubbing, tossing, turning. The hair is taking all of that. The moisture is being extracted from your hair. And last but not least, just make sure you're conditioning and masking your hair more often than you would do in other seasons. It needs it more. So yeah, that's just some tips to winterize your hair for this holiday winter season. So I thank you for listening. This is the Bajo channel, home of self-care, beauty, wellness, and any and everything that'll help you to become the most empowered version of you. Until next time, remember that self-care, it is the best care. Later.